Dear Mr. Salinger, I don't know if you are able to or even want to receive video mail. If so, I hope you'll not be resistant to my query now that you're in heaven or final samadhi or whatever term makes sense to you. I'm not here to judge. It's the hour before dawn, Easter Sunday, and I'm wrapping up an all-nighter sitting in the boss's Cadillac Escalade in the parking lot of the 79th Street Pier. Yachts and sailboats are moored along the pier. Palisades loom in the purple crepuscule. I'm staking out a couple recently arrived from Florida via the Intercoastal Waterway. All night I've been recording the comings and goings while listening to Stravinsky's Rite of Spring over and over. When I need a break, I put on a bootleg version of your books on audio. Do not be alarmed that I'm out in the world, Jerry. No one knows me by the name you've given me, so no one will ever interview me. I know how important it is to you, so rest in perpetuity knowing I would never reveal the real you. That would be betraying my maker. I know the score. No American author has gained more by saying less about himself. And his famous protagonist. The bassoon repeats that haunting line. And I'm glad today is the birthday of your first edition of me, 1951. How could the mad Russian's adoration of the earth not make me think of that when the entire orchestra responds with such vigor and joy? Ah, to be alive. As brass and timpani burst the budding season's first green, I know what it means to be born. To open a book and be transformed from printed page into flesh of life. You know, you're not the only author to whom this has happened. The music came to Stravinsky in a dream, like how I arrived in your world, Jerome David. So let's leave room for the Holy Ghost, as the nuns used to say during slow tunes at Catholic prep school dances. Surely we're all stardust, but we all have family too. And now that you're gone, that means someone else in your family decides my future. That's why I'm sending you this video. Nothing against the short stories that preceded me, but I know I'm your moneymaker. Year after year, the character whose controversies with school boards never end, guaranteeing new editions of me, an all-time bestseller, one of the few books that actually changes lives, for better or worse. Call me the living proof. Of course, I did some misfit things. But during the time I spent in the asylum, while you discussed Vedanta and Ramakrishna with your New Hampshire neighbors, I read the writers you influenced, the ones who were tearing apart the boxed-in world that had institutionalized me in the first place. You inspired a generation that wrote the books and songs that inspired my escape from a life of fiction. I hunted in the Kalahari, grew orchids in Costa Rica, surfed the waves at Waikiki, hiked the Inca Trail, Camped in the wilds of Iceland. Joined the Kumbh Mela in India. Pulled a gondola in Venice. Drank ayahuasca on the Amazon. Raked sand gardens in Japan. The adult I became grew adept at living off the grid, keeping a low profile, working for myself. Call it creating my own reality. Now that the strings and French horns are introducing Stravinsky's The Great Sacrifice, I want to thank you for turning down some of the most talented people in Hollywood in their hopes to make a movie out of my story. I love you for that. And for telling Sam Goldwyn that you'll be the only one who will ever play me in a film. You saw what Walt Disney did to the Rite of Spring. How the ancient ritual Nijinsky celebrated became a stupid cartoon. Don't let anyone sell the screen rights. Film would kill me. You know better than I how consciousness works. A little Stravinsky and you're in another world. It's that delicate. So, yes, there is a love interest. I know you can handle that. It's not Jane Gallagher or any of the other women you created for me. She's Maria Boricua. A Puerto Rican inmate from another tale and time. And consciousness being what it is, when we can exist together, we do. As your offspring, I owe you this tidbit. But respect her privacy, and don't guess her out. Though her existence is based upon a pirated edition, her author has retained counsel. I can't believe how much bluer the riverside has become now. When I turn to the east, I see dawn's rosy fingers beginning to stream. I know how you hate being thought of as a god, especially on the rise of Easter morning. But seriously, how else can I think of you? Now that you're dead, I see you blooming everywhere. I entreat you, let me live on in the imagination of your readers. Yours, Holden Caulfield.